Hey there, and welcome back to Jam Packed Business with AI. Today's episode is a little different. We're talking with David Perales, an insurance broker and small business owner who's just beginning to explore how AI can streamline his workflow. From content creation to client communication, David shares what it's like to dip his toes into AI while juggling the demands of running a business. If you're curious about how everyday entrepreneurs are starting to use tools like ChatGPT, this one's for you. All right. Hey, thanks so much, David, for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
Go ahead and tell everyone who are you and tell us a little bit about your agency.
Yeah. So my name is David Perales, the owner of Perales Family Agency. I'm an insurance broker. Really, I do everything you can think of except health insurance. But if it got the word insurance in it, I can do it. So life, your car, your house, renters, flood insurance, you name it. I've been selling insurance for over a decade. I took the leap a couple years ago and opened my own agency. I chose the route of being a broker, which means I have over 50 companies I can quote through.
Awesome.
And the reason I did that was just to make it easier for my clients and just take that weight off your shoulders. It can get annoying calling and having that same conversation over and over again, like just trying to get an insurance quote, same questions. And then, a lot of times people don't get back to you. So essentially, you just have that conversation one time with me. I'll shop it for you to find you the best rate, best fit, get you set up. Um, and then essentially I keep you as a customer for life as well too. If you ever rates ever go up as they do with insurance, unfortunately, you can always just reach back out and say, hey, David, my rates went up. Is there anything better? And I'll be able to let you know, hey, I did find something better, or you know what, you're still got a good spot where you're at. Let's just keep it. But keep that relationship, and I get to stay as your agent.
Yeah, no, I love that. You and I have known each other for a long time. I got to kind of witness your journey, even from social media. I think we were a customer at some point and we sent some customers your way. But tell us a little bit about that leap of faith in starting your own business and becoming, your own business owner.
Yeah, it's something I knew I always wanted to do, even as a child. I didn't know what it was, but I always knew like I couldn't work for people. I hated taking orders, like whatever it was, I was gonna work for myself. And then about a decade ago, just I fell into insurance, and I just happened to be good at it. I saw the type of money you could make. I got to the point where I was managing and running agencies, and I just understood it. I got it. I was good at it, and I knew I was like, all right, well, this is the route I'm gonna take when I'm ready. But it's a scary leap. I have a family, I got kids, we have bills. The last place I was at, we had a really, really secure job. It was, great benefits, time off. I was top salesperson, so huge commissions and bonuses. And but obviously, I still wasn't happy. Just to have to check in with somebody or clock in at certain times, it just wasn't there. So obviously, the going from all that to nothing was scary. So what I did was actually reach out to my sister, Catherine, who's just any industry she's in, she's just a monster. She dominates it. It doesn't matter what she's one of those people, whatever she does, she's gonna be great at it.
Awesome.
And she was in car sales forever, worked her way up to finance and all that, and then decided to jump into real estate and of course did great at that. And she was looking to venture into other things. I was like, I've been wanting to open my own agency forever. I'm just scared of to do it. All the startup costs and money. I was like, would you be interested in investing?
Awesome.
uh, where it piqued her interest. I kind of explained her how insurance works and with residuals and renewals and the growth, and it's not instant, it is long term, but there's a lot of security and money to be made there. And she was all for it, so she kind of jumped in. I guess she says like a silent investor.
Yeah.
Just helped me with some of the startup costs, kind of grinding through that first year. But then after that, yeah, we took off, yeah, and everything's rolling now.
I love that. And then, I've seen some of your fun social media that
Yeah.
you do. And tell me a little bit about like what you are using and what you've seen work and what you've seen not work for you personally for your sales and marketing. Because as a business owner, that's a large part of it.
Yeah. And then with insurance, it's so boring. It's hard to make interesting. So it's
That's
like,
fair.
yeah. So it's like I got to do some goofy stuff for just to get some attention. But what I found works the most is, and it's kind of a general rule I've learned over time is, keep it like about 80% personal and then 20% business
Okay, the eighty
related.
twenty rule.
Yeah, and it works for my business because people like you, they want to work with you, and ultimately, it's sales. So it's if they like you and work with you, that's really what it is. Because you see those people that just post like graphs and charts and numbers and rates. Nobody's looking at any of that. That's not getting attention. That's not, it's just going right by somebody's, feed or whatever it is. So if I could post a picture of me, being silly with the kids or something, and then, I always just leave it, oh, don't forget, like the insurance, I'm an agent, get a quote. It keeps you engaged. And then also, whenever you think insurance, you think, oh, yeah, David sells insurance. Let me give him a call.
Yeah, totally. Because it's kind of like a business of timing, right?
Right, right.
So, because I know nothing about the insurance industry, do what is that clear system for turning leads into sales for you?
Meaning like the process from like just someone reaching out to selling them a policy.
Yeah. How do you keep them
Yeah,
engaged other than, the funny social media?
yeah. So yeah, when somebody initially reaches out, I mean, this is why I chose this franchise that I bought is because of the technology and how easy it is to get a quote.
Great.
So, for example, we're integrated in with the carrier's website, so it's not like I have to go into each individual carrier and run a quote over and over and over again. I'll just ask you the question. Usually takes about 5 minutes or so, uh, and then it populates all these quotes from all these different carriers, and I typically just jump into like two or three of them. Whoever has the best rate and best coverages.
In a lot of industries, you see people come in and they're kind of this long play, right? You have to kind
Right,
of keep them engaged with top of funnel marketing, top of funnel emails, different hooks, different value adds, right? And what I'm hearing from you is basically it's all about timing. Someone needs a quote, you need to be able to have it for them ASAP. But then you also mentioned the importance of keeping a customer for a lifetime. So maybe your funnel is less in the front end and getting that quote from them, but really maintaining them over a long-term cycle.
right.
Talk to me a little bit about what that looks like for you.
Yeah, so that's everything with insurance is retention. So, once a customer leaves, that money goes away,
Yeah,
whatever they're paying. So let's say, for example, I sell you policy, I get $100 off of that. I'm just making up numbers, but then whenever you renew, I get another $100, and so on and so forth every year as long as you're with me.
yeah.
With like a standard company, I'm just gonna say, like an Allstate or State Farm or something. If your insurance goes up with them, there's nothing they can do. You're forced to leave and go look somewhere else. Whereas if your insurance goes up with me, I can reshop it, find you another carrier, and then just place you with them if I do find a better rate. But I get to stay your agent.
So in kind of the daily life of David Morales, you are really offering those quotes. You are really making sure that that your brand and your name is visible to people. You're making sure that you are visible to people, that you're available to people, and that you're really making sure that you are retaining them as customers. So if you had an extra 10 hours a week, what would you focus on and what would you do with that extra 10 hours?
Extra 10 hours. That's interesting. Are you looking for something business related particularly or 10
No,
hours
not at all.
gaming?
Yeah,
Yeah,
10 hours.
definitely more time with family. If we were to go that route, with starting the business and running it, and we're still pretty young, as a lot of entrepreneurs know, it takes up a lot of time, and you sacrifice a lot of time with family, and
Yeah.
so to get some of that back would be awesome. On the business side of things, just more in-person networking, I would say.
Yeah.
That's kind of my bread and butter is where I get most of my customers for are real estate agents and loan officers
Right.
and helping their clients when they buy homes and just plugging me in like, hey, you need insurance, you're buying a house. Here's David. He has 50 carriers. He's going to shop for you.
No, I love that. And then, as a business owner, what is your next goal for the next 6 to 12 months?
Bro, so we hired our first person, so very excited.
Congrats.
Yeah, so we have another salesperson in house uh, to help grow the agency. I want to grow at least maximum about 4 to 5 agents. I'm saying that now that number could get bigger, or I could be fine with two or three. I do want to hire another one or two in the next 6 to 12 months.
Awesome.
And then I also want to get a permanent location for
Wow.
my office. Yeah.
That's exciting. And then, obviously at Gem AI, we we automate everything we can so we can spend more time, with our family and with our loved ones and doing more of that in-person networking when it's available. Do you use AI at all in your business? And if so, like to what extent or not at all, or how would you like to use more of it?
Yeah, I finally bit the bullet and dove in and started messing with like some of the chat GPT stuff, and it really is resourceful. So if I'm gonna present, I'll kind of throw in, a little comment about, hey, I'm presenting to these type of people. What are, some questions they would bring up? And I'm learning more and more as I'm doing it
Yeah.
at how kind of endless it is. Like, things you wouldn't even think of. Uh, like, okay, explain homeowners insurance to, but you're explaining it to a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Make it that easy. If I'm gonna do a post, I'm a terrible writer. Like if you read my emails, you probably think like English is my second language. I don't know where to put periods and commas, and so I can, put in ChatGPT or something. Hey, I'm doing a post. I want to say this, and this. Generate it. Cut a little bit out so you can tell, not so much that it is all AI,
Yeah, of course.
and not that easy to read, and then post. So yeah, I'm still getting into it, but I'm actually learning to love it. Where I was kind of fighting it at first, the whole AI stuff.
Yeah, and I mean that's something we talk about a lot is like use it as a resource, don't completely rely on it.
Right,
And, use it for what you need it to be, right? So it can be your social media content creator, it can be your editor, it can be all of these other things so you have more time to do what you need to do, right? So
right.
we just talked a little bit about these different roles that AI can play. If you were to hire your dream assistant, AI or a real human, and they, came and you didn't even have to pay their salary, what kind of tasks would you have them do for you right now?
Everything. I would have them run, hire, and train the employees. I would have them sell. I would have them service my existing book, and really with this way my agency set up, the really only amount of service is just reshopping existing customers.
Nice.
So it'd probably be those four main things: hiring and training, selling themselves, and then just reshopping those existing customers to make sure they're staying with us for one, and then also getting the best rate.
Yeah. And man, hiring and training, that's kind of a job on its own.
Yeah,
And we've seen people use AI to help create HR books or playbooks or hey, help me, this is a little bit of what I do in my day to day. Help me organize this so I can share this with my new teammate and really outline, what a day to day could look like for them. So that's interesting. Just get in here and talk a little bit about like real life business owners
yeah,
and how people are using it or how people are not
yeah,
using it, and then also maybe do some follow up and kind of learn from your journey. So what I'm hearing from you now is like I'm putting my toe in the water with AI and I'm
yeah,
open to it, and I bet you in 6 months when I touch base with you you're going to be like, yeah, I just had AI create a whole automatic email funnel for me and does my
yeah,
follow-ups, and it trained my third employee. So it'll be
yeah.
fun to kind of follow your journey with this too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I forgot to mention, I had to do my create an offer letter for me, which actually came out really great, and even like, you know, disclaimers and uh, anything legal you'd want in there. So it was really great with that too.
That's awesome. And Jam's always cracking me up because she's so futuristic with everything. I have a hard time keeping up with her. And she said something recently that like prompting is so like 2023, right? Or maybe it was
Yeah,
2024 at this point. But you know, prompting is really, especially when you're just starting with AI, it's really what can make you or break you, right? So you can say something as one of my favorites is like act as, right? So act as an insurance agent with 25 years of experience in this particular type of insurance with this particular audience. Help me, what are three daily tasks that I should be doing to
yeah,
maintain and thrive my business, or act as a
yeah,
career coach who focuses on this type of industry. Help me plan out an 8-hour day to help me add value to my customers, or
yeah,
have it really play as these different roles, right? So whether it's that assistant or whatever. So I'll send you some just
yeah,
suggested prompts that could help and that
yeah,
you might be able to use. And other than
yeah. 'Cause
that,
you just no, I was gonna say you just triggered my brain a bunch of stuff that I didn't even think of too. So yeah, I love anything you send over. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and just, I mean, we really encourage you just to play around with it, right? Like
Right.
ChatGPT, and even if you're just settling with ChatGPT in this moment, right? Because the AI world is huge, right? So even if you're just like dabbling your toe with ChatGPT, great. There's so much you can do with that, and I always feel like I get to kind of be like my creative 8-year-old self with it. I'm like, well, what would happen if this? And like, well, what about this? And just really get creative with it and use it so much more than just like a Google search. It's so much more than a Google search. It really can
Right.
be, that assistant. It can be that content creator for you. It can be that coach for you. It can sometimes be that therapist for you when you need it, right? So, I appreciate you sharing your journey with us, and I'm just excited to see, your business grow and also your
Yeah.
AI journey.
Awesome. Good. Well, I
Thanks so much,
appreciate it.
David.
Yes, ma'am.
Take care.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're like David and just starting with AI, remember, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. One prompt at a time can save you hours of work. Try experimenting this week and let us know what tools are helping you get more work done. And if you want more support, prompts, or to connect with other entrepreneurs, come find us inside school. Search #1 community for entrepreneurs. And we'll see you next time.